Hello and welcome to Polaris, a show about finding your way in the world. Today's episode is a bit different. I'm bringing you an interview that I had with my friend Ryan back in October of 2016, so quite a while ago now. We chat about his creative process and his influences, and he gives me advice and motivation about starting this here podcast. No doubt in the future I'll bring you more chats with Ryan, so you'll get to know him better over time. So without any further ado, here's my interview with the Ryan Spark. This is so weird how I'm talking into a microphone yet I can't hear a thing. Maybe I should put in my mic into my computer just so it feels more natural for me. No, it feels weird. Hello, Ryan.
Hello.
I purchased all this equipment because
Right.
once again I've had another one of my ridiculous harebrained schemes.
I mean,
as ever,
all this stuff.
is a harebrained scheme.
The PS4 down behind me was an investment.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
I've purchased myself an edit. Well, I say I'm doing a 30-day trial of a bit of editing software.
Oh, right. Which
that's
one?
specific for sound.
Which one?
It's called Hindenburg Journalist.
I haven't heard of that one.
Because I have ideas on being some sort of journalist.
I was contemplating getting Adobe After Effects, not actually buying it. I'm not made of money, but I have thought
procuring
about
it through different means.
Yeah, I think I was in a Discord chat the other day, and then someone went, I mentioned it, and then someone went, "Why don't you just get a crack?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't think of that."
Because they do that cloud thing now, and you pay like so much a month.
I'm getting tracked down for that. Someone will hear it, and they'll go,
Yeah.
"Well, right, he's getting Adobe. Let's get him."
They know where you live.
That's great.
So yeah, I have designs on being some sort of journalist at the moment.
Right.
So I'm putting all of the bits in place. I'm going to buy myself a domain name. I think I've settled on an idea for a name for this idea.
Cool.
Rather, so that's next. And I think it's going to be some sort of podcast, some sort of audio medium.
Yeah.
Because I think I've grown to love audio mediums a lot recently.
I can relate to that. Yeah.
Listening to a lot of podcasts, a lot of journalistic sort of podcasts and things like that. And so, in terms of topics for this idea of mine, the one that I'm seeming to gravitate around a lot at the moment is trying to find meaning in my life.
Right.
which is a bit of a broad topic.
You've come to the right place.
That's exactly the point. I thought, who better to speak to about trying to find meaning and doing what they love and all that other good jazz than you, Ryan.
Oh, that's... Yeah, okay.
So tell me, Ryan, why do you get out of bed in the morning?
That's the thing. I wake up in the morning and I don't want to get out of bed. It's weird. It's a weird way to put it in. I'm someone who doesn't actually like sleep but loves it. It's a very weird way to put it. When it starts to get to night and it starts to get to about midnight, I don't want to go to bed. I want to keep working on whatever I'm working on. Because if I go to sleep, that stops me from working. And that's a 7 to 8 hour gap that is blank. Unless I somehow have some sort of a dream where I get inspired by something. The downside to that is that when I end up going to sleep, I'll sleep longer than I should, which will hinder my progress as well. It's something that I need to personally work on a lot more. As for why I do get out of bed is because at that point I'm like, I've wasted too much time. Or if I do actually get up on time, I get up because you kind of have to. You have to get up to do something. You have to get up to do something.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in my life right now where I get up and I go, oh, I really, really want to do that. There's stuff, of course, in my head where I go like, oh, I can't wait to do that at some point today. But that never really strikes me when I get up. The first thing I get up is that I have to I have to at least get ready for the day.
It's interesting you say that, because I always, in my mind, you're someone who is very enthusiastic and, what am I trying to say? Like, I don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life, but I feel like you know what you want to do, and you have a very clear purpose and drive.
I know what I want to do, but there's many times where I start to question whether I can do it. I like when I do work on a project or something, I do really want to do it. I don't want to live a really boring life. I want to live a life where I can do whatever I want whenever I want. Unfortunately, that's not how it all works, and I have come to terms with that. I just need to figure out when to accept that I do need to take a break from what I want to do. There's no way that I can keep going with being all like. There's no way that you can always be like, oh, today I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that, and if someone tells me to do this, I'm not going to do it. There's some things you do have to do. And in the case of someone who doesn't really have a stable job at all right now, it seems like it's really the perfect opportunity for me to go, no, I want to do what I want and whatever I want. I can't. There are other things that I need to do. If I'm here in this house all day, there is housework that needs to be done. And there will be times where I do not do it because I do want to do my own thing. And that's like it's hard to find time for everything, and I feel I should be at a point where I have found time for everything, but I haven't. Hopefully I can. I think I can. That's another thing. Like I obviously I want to do all these things. One of those things
you can probably always find time, but it's just what do you want to sacrifice?
I think that's one of the things I want to do though as well. Is I want to find a way to balance everything. I think at the same time, while you say I'm very enthusiastic about what I want to do, and that I have a clear purpose of it, I'm very private about it. There's a lot of things that I don't tell people about what I'm doing.
No, yeah, always, you're always squirreling away on something secret.
I have
you
to
only tell people about it when it's, it's ready or it's done.
I think that hinders, especially in the case of my family, because I think a lot of the times if there's something that I haven't done here, they'll assume that I've been sitting up here all day doing nothing, when literally you can see on my computer right now, no one else can. There's something being made. There's always something being made, and there will be long periods of time. There will be hours where I actually don't work on anything, and I'm usually thinking about something else, and I'm thinking about something completely different. My mind is like a clogged pipe. That is a brilliant metaphor.
Is there any particular reason, or like, how did you? Like, animation seems to be the big thing at the moment. Was there a particular moment when you decided I'm going to move into animation, or is there any particular reason why you particularly like making animation? Or
I really don't like doing animation. I really
why have you started doing it?
Like here's the thing, right? Like I say that, but take that very lightly, because at the moment I'm honestly in a point. It depends on what type of animation I'm doing. There are some times when I'm making animation, I go, I really, really enjoy doing this, and that makes me want to keep going. There are times, however, where I really don't want to keep animating. But that's because it takes such a long bloody time. And I think at this point, and more recently, I've enjoyed it a little bit more because I've actually set a deadline, and I have deadlines for animation projects. As to what got me into it, it was weird, because the program I use is completely free to use. That's Source Filmmaker, which is property of Valve, which they use to make the Team Fortress 2 trailers. And I think it sort of just stood out to me because of the trailer for it. It was really big news, across Steam, was that Valve is putting out their animation software for everyone to use. And then, of course, at first I was like, well, it's a bit limited because I can only use Team Fortress 2 assets. And then they were like, no, there's actually ways that you can take things from the Gary's Mod workshop, and if no one knows what Gary's Mod is everything put into anything. It's like a dream. Gary's Mod is a literal dream come true for anyone. Has everything you could ever want. And they've got models from tons of different series, models from anything, and it's constantly being updated, so there's always something constantly new being added. And when I found out I could take things from Gary's Mod and put them into Source Filmmaker. I was like, there's so much I could do. There was projects from years ago which are so ambitious. I'm pretty sure there's still a test video on my channel about it.
Almost certainly, yeah.
I think there's one of I think it's an animation of Gengar from Pokemon, and it's probably the first time I used Source Filmmaker and I went, wow, that looks really good. I should keep doing it. And then I stopped. It's just little things. Source Filmmaker always came up as something, because well, I think some people do look at me as someone who thrives on creativity.
Absolutely.
Who definitely, if he sees something creative, I have to do something.
You're possibly the most creative person I know, perhaps outside of Baker, who is an actual professional musician.
Yeah.
You're hands down the most prolific creator, definitely.
It's just these little moments where there were things I wanted to do, and I was like, but how do I do them? And I looked at Source Filmmaker and I went, well, that doesn't require me to pay any actor, doesn't require me to pay for a set, doesn't require me to pay for a camera or work out camera, because you can storyboard it as you go. You can work out what camera angle you want. There's you put an animation on the camera, you figure out where you want the camera to go, and it will do it for you. The hard part at the start of using Source Filmmaker was learning how to use it and learning how to animate, because I didn't know how to animate. I mean, goddamn, if I look back specifically at my most popular video, which is a Metal Gear Solid video in Source Filmmaker, which has, I think 35,000.
Nice.
Which is really good.
Nice.
Nothing's ever come close to it, but it looks horrible. There's no lighting because the map I used had no lighting. It was full bright the entire time, and I didn't know how to fix up a map. I still don't know how to fix up a map. And yet the community for Metal Gear watches that video, and I get comments of people like, this is what the ending to Metal Gear Solid 5 should have been. I understand what you're trying to convey here. I was trying to convey something that, and in a way I did kind of want that to be the ending. And when I did play through that game, I didn't get the ending I wanted. I was really disappointed with the ending. And I saw Source Filmmaker and I went, well, there's stuff I can use there. I could load up a map. I have models from Metal Gear Solid 5. I'll just make up the ending I wanted, and everyone really liked it. And it's just a tool for me to, I think, express myself in a way I can't in real life. And that's why I still use it.
That's interesting. Because I say like you, I'm not nearly as prolific as you, but by any stretch of the imagination. I do also am trying to find some sort of creative outlet. And you might have noticed a pattern, I've noticed a pattern, at least, of me, starting a thing, getting bored of a thing. Starting a thing, getting bored of a thing.
Do you want to know what I can compare that to, in a way? Do you remember what I was like in high school? When I used to say I wanted to do something, never happened. There was stuff I wanted to do with the WWE games and never did them. And how it's completely gone 180. That's what I've thought about recently, is that how I used to say to all you guys, I was in the playground and at lunchtime, I go, I'm going to do this. And I literally remember some of you looking at me and going but you've said that before and you're not going to do it. And now I definitely don't look at that and go, look at me now, I've done stuff. I don't look at it like that. I just go, wow, I'm really happy that
you sort of improved.
That I have actually managed to do stuff. Of course, I'm still a speck to the world, and I don't really ever think, no matter how popular you are in the world, that speck ever truly grows. But I've done something now.
Yeah.
And that if you do something, you will do something else. That's the mindset I think people should have, is that if they do manage to do one thing, and the first couple of times you do something, it won't be good. It won't be. You can't.
No one starts as Picasso, you know.
You can't. That's why you train at things. That's why footballers train to be footballers. That's why me, who wants to be an actor, took courses to become better at acting. Because the first time you go up on stage, or the first time you kick a ball, the odds are you're not going to kick a ball right, and the odds are you're not going to come on stage and perform quite right. And the same thing with animation. The first couple of animations I made, they're not great, but look at any animator.
All got to start somewhere, haven't they?
You've got to start with Stickman. Which is what I did in Woodcote.
On the Flash animations.
Flash animations.
I remember that, yeah.
That was what I was kind of known for in the class, was Stickman animations. And that makes it even weirder when I look at what I'm animating now.
Quite the difference.
I'm still not getting paid for it. I'm getting paid pennies for it from Google AdSense.
Better than nothing, I suppose.
Yeah, it's better than nothing. goes up every month now, a little bit, just a tiny bit per month, and that's
progress, I suppose.
yeah,
it's encouraging in the right direction.
Progress, but when I'm not actually, I'm not going to go into like all the stuff you do with bank accounts and that. Actually, that's a
story for another time.
That's
perhaps.
a very private subject. You should never really talk about.
But I know, I know this is going to fail.
No,
but
literally,
am I setting myself up for failure?
No,
but
you're not
already
setting yourself
thinking
up
that,
for
or
failure.
is that just realistic?
Remember what I just said. Is the first time when you do something, you're not going to be 100% at it.
See, I think that's my problem. I think I get discouraged because this is hard. I'm bad. I'm clearly not very good at this. I'm not cut out for this.
Because I think your mindset in a way is that you like it has to be good. It has to be really good for the first time. Otherwise, what's the point in doing it again if it's not good?
Yeah.
Progress. You start from zero and you work your way up. If you're taking long gaps now, it's not a problem. You'll work on that, and you can take away from this and go, okay, there was some long gaps when I was talking to him. I work on that. If there's like maybe it's like something like I'm not quite sure what to ask someone question wise. Write questions down for them. There's always going to be a way that you can improve on it. It's not bad. If we're sitting here in silence for half an hour, I'm not gonna be like, oh, he's terrible. I'm gonna have a laugh.
Part of the problem at the moment is I went to Sam the other day. Spoke to Sam, took this with me.
Mm-hmm.
Briefly interviewed Beth, and she interviewed me quickly. Just testing it out, getting used to handing it around and stuff. And the problem is I just don't know what I want this to be yet.
Yeah.
And so this is my first time I've set out. I want to interview Ryan because Ryan is interesting and Ryan has good opinions on being creative and whatever. And perhaps the thing I've set for this project, if you will, is too broad. I'm worried I'll run out of ideas if I set it any narrower, because the idea is sort of the meaning of life. Which, is that too broad? Do I need to narrow that down?
No. And I wouldn't even think about narrowing it down.
Can I tell you the name of the thing that I have in mind?
Go on.
Just to see. So, I'm going to call it Polaris, right?
Do you know what, right? There was a part of me in my mind that was like, I don't want to swear on this.
I mean, you can do what you want.
Exactly.
Because
that's the thing.
If I want to bleep it, I can bleep it.
I don't want to swear if he doesn't want me to swear. But I really wanted to make that joke where he goes, here's my name. You say the name. I didn't want to do that, though. No. Say, what's the name again?
Polaris. So, a Polaris is a type of... It's kind of like a compass that they use on a ship. And my idea was that through my project Polaris, maybe I can navigate my way through life.
Okay.
And find meaning. That was
but
the
it has a
idea
meaning
behind
to it.
It has a meaning to it. Is the meaning of life too broad a topic?
No, because the moment you said meaning of life, I was like,
I mean, it's not the meaning of life. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to find meaning.
There is no meaning of life. Life is pointless. No, it's not. It's
maybe that's my problem. Maybe I don't know what this is about yet.
I think meaning of life is a question that has a different answer for every person. Because we all don't work in Tesco, so we don't all have the same objective of making sure our customers are happy. That went better than I thought it would. I thought I was going to come out with a bunch of rubbish. No, I'm proud of myself. Well done, me. But it's not a broad question.
I mean, it is.
I mean, in the sense that I think you're thinking about it, is that you're thinking it's broad so that you have to narrow it down. And it's a question that so many people will go around and go what is the meaning of life? Why are we in this world? Why were we here?
I suppose I get what you mean, in that I'm not trying to solve it on a universal scale.
Yeah.
I'm trying to solve it on a personal scale.
Yeah, which I think isn't broad at all then. If you're talking about universal, then yes, it's a broad question that's been asked so many times. And
that doesn't interest me.
If the answer hasn't been found yet, give up. It's just
you're not going to find it.
Just bloody live. But if you're looking for it from a personal standpoint, then fine. I don't see a problem with it at all.
Okay.
And
that's encouraging. Thank you.
And the meaning of life from different people's perspective. For example, what's my look on the meaning of life? I don't have one. I just live, and I do what I want whenever I want, and I like everyone else have flaws that I need to fix in my life in order to find better meaning, I suppose, for universal standards or whatever. But to find out everyone else's perspective on what their life is. I'm not sure if it's more about the meaning of life, or whether it's a matter of it's a hard way to word it. But I don't think
it's kind of what I'm struggling with.
I don't think the question is what is the meaning of life to the person, because then I feel that the answer you'd get from a lot of people would be them speaking for the universe.
People always go, "Oh, meaning of life is to be happy," which is why I asked you, why'd you get out of bed in the morning? Because I think that's a better question.
I'm definitely
'Cause
not
I think
happy 100% of the time, though.
No, but like,
So I don't believe
are
that
you not
answer at all.
aiming to be happy 100%
Oh,
of the time?
I'm not aiming to be happy 100% of the time, because I know that's something that's... Because look,
Unachievable.
I'll tell you why it's unachievable, right? Because if I was unhappy a couple of days ago, clearly I'm not going to achieve 100% happiness in my life.
I failed. I'll
If
just end it now.
1% has been lost already, I ain't getting that 1% back unless I find a means to time travel and ruin my life by making myself happy. If you're happy all the time, then my God.
Then do you even know what happiness is? If you've got nothing to compare it to.
Again, this all depends on the person.
Indeed.
Maybe I'm going a little bit too gutsy in my opinion here, but if someone enjoys taking substances, that's what makes them happy. Obviously, maybe it's against the law in cases, and it's not the best thing to do from a perspective of others, but if it makes you happy, that's your happiness. So people go, life is about being happy. Like, yeah, but can you define happiness? You can't, because everyone's different.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the meaning of life universally is too broad, but I think the meaning of life from a personal standpoint is absolutely fine. See, this is actually a problem that some people had with the name I gave my book. Haha, promotion. No, I'm not promoting it all.
I'll stick it in the show notes, a link to
yeah.
Ryan's fabulous book and his YouTube channel.
Yay!
If this ever turns up on the internet anyway.
But like, and don't take this as my way of saying, like, I don't get the name of what you're doing. I don't get it. What's the name? Because you've told me what it means. So I do get what it means. I just can't remember how to pronounce it. Polaris. Right. And I'm going to forget it again. But
does it need to be more memorable?
But
perhaps.
No. That's just me, and I have horrible memory at times. That, again, everyone's different. Some people will know the name straight away and they'll be able to reiterate it anytime, and other people will never remember the name and they'll go, oh, what does that say? It's not even a word in England. I named this, I called it Descendants.
Available now on Amazon.
Available now on Amazon.com for $9.99 or $3.99 on Kindle. No, but people no doubt question why it has that name and what its relevance is to the plot.
I did wonder that.
And there was one person, I won't name him, but he didn't think Descendants was a word. He thought
it's not a very common one.
It's not a very common one, which is why at the same time in my mind it sticks out. It's because if you have something or a name that no one else is using, it's unique.
It's kind of like those
which again, yours, I've never heard that word before.
Neither have I.
I don't remember the word still, but
I was having a dig around Wikipedia. I was like, oh, that will do.
But like, honest to God, like when I created it and I needed a name, I went, Descendants. Is that a word? I'm going to look it up. And I was really surprised by what it meant. And Descendants means the act of descending, which I was then like, okay, well then if I'm giving it that title and if it does actually mean something, I've got to convey that meaning into the story somehow. I've got to convey what this word means. It has to like relate to something. And I did try to convey that in the best way I can. Is that if an act of descending, what is descending? Descending has many meanings, and it can be done in many different ways in terms of a person's lifestyle and the actions they take, etc.
It's probably most commonly used in a descent into madness, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess that would probably be the most commonly use of the word for anyone who does use it. I mean, I know a guy who doesn't think it's a word, probably still doesn't think it's a word.
Descendants, like that's just descent. Yeah, descendants is quite an uncommon word.
But the really weird reason is that I wanted it to have the word descent or some way of saying descent in it, because how it all started was like it was based around descendants of other characters. That's how it started. But we're not talking about that right now. So if we get onto that subject, then I will talk about it. Carry on, dear Stephen.
When I was down at Sam and Beth's,
okay,
we were chatting about this very subject, really, of how, finding the meaning in your life and whatever else. And like, Beth seems to want me to quit my job and go and do what I love, but I don't think there is anything that I love.
Right.
This probably doesn't occur to you because you are a man who loves things deeply. And I don't think there's anything in the world I love with a deep, passionate love enough to, when people are like, oh, that's the one thing,
Yep.
I'll pursue that my entire life and
Yep.
I won't stop until I achieve it. I don't think there is anything in my life that I have that level of connection with, at least not anymore. And it's just kind of makes me sad that
You just haven't found it yet.
but I don't know if I ever will.
Yeah, well, you don't, do you?
How have you found it? Do you believe you found it?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
How would you find it?
It's honestly not a question that I can honestly answer with like, oh yes, I have a completely 100% accurate representation of what I want my life to be.
Because Beth has like a 10-year plan, like a life plan planned out.
I don't
She's
have
like,
a
I'm going to do
life
this,
plan.
then I'm going to do this to achieve this. I was like, I do not have anything resembling that.
Plans of what I'd like to do.
Mm.
I don't know quite how to achieve them all. By the sound of what Beth's saying, Beth knows how to achieve these goals. I'm someone who does have goals but doesn't quite 100% know how to achieve them.
But I don't even have goals.
No.
Like, this is a goal.
Yeah.
Start a side project, put it up online, have people feedback into it, create something. I've always had a desire to create something, like the YouTube channel, even the wrestling we were doing. I did a little bit of writing on the side, but it never really came to much. But I feel I'm really in love with the audio medium at the moment.
Yeah.
So this is why this is
here. Well, then that's what you follow until either you stop loving it. I mean, look, I have trained in acting since high school. Did performing arts in high school, went off to college, did performing arts, did a high national diploma in another college, I've graduated in performing arts. I have like half a degree, technically. That is the technical term in a way.
It's probably approaching 7 years now.
Yeah. And I've had one acting job, one professional acting job, nothing else. And then I don't know whether this is how this is how I think everyone or most people reacted, is that I was always someone who was like, yeah, I want to be an actor, I want to do this, I want to do that. Suddenly Ryan comes out with a book.
That was a bit out of left field for like
suddenly
the casual observer.
Which you say 7 years, right, of acting?
Because we've been at high school 5 years, and we did 2 years, and the last years of high school, so 7 years.
And this has been in my head for 6 years, which I think, which is why in my head when I think about it, I go, I wonder if it was a complete turn that no one thought I was going to take. There were people who knew I was doing it.
Mm.
You knew I was writing one.
Yeah.
A few people in my college knew I was. My family did to a degree, because I wasn't very I was comfortable in telling people, oh yeah, I'm doing it, but I wasn't comfortable in telling people what it was about, because you do get that mentality of, will people like what I do? Don't have that mentality. Don't. It'll ruin you.
It always ruins me.
It will ruin you.
It has consistently
at the end of
me.
the day, if someone looks at my stories and they say that is the biggest pile of garbage I've ever seen in my life, I can look at them and I can go, well, I loved making it. I can say thanks for reading. Yeah, fine, refund. I don't care. Like, I'm entertained by the story. I've read through my own story and I know everything that's pretty much going to happen in it, and it entertains me. So if you hate it, fine. I am entertained by it, so I like it. And other people I've talked to seem to like it, which just makes me... obviously, that makes you feel better about it.
Mm.
And the fact that I have entertained at least one person, goal achieved, in my book.
You've improved the world somewhat. Yeah.
Someone has looked at it and they've gone, wow, I really enjoyed that, or I enjoyed it. Even if you can't pronounce some of the names,
it's good.
Even if there's some things like I've said so many people about the way you pronounce some of the names. My God,
I do it with like every story.
Yeah, I know.
Game of Thrones completely ruins me. I have no idea how to say any of the names.
You're not as bad as Kick. You're not as bad as when Kick. Like with you, I was like, okay, the names that he's just said, I can completely understand how he might have muddled them up a little bit. There was times where I was muddling them up when I was creating them, and I couldn't remember how to pronounce them. And I believe the character, Carlos, it was Carlos. And then Kit came out and called him Ricardo. And I'm sitting there like, I think Kit was reading a different book as he was reading mine. He had mine in one hand and the other one in the other. And he just saw Ricardo and switched back to the scene and went, oh, Ricardo's obviously attacking Edge. Like, but I think you did the same thing as well. I can't remember who you did it with. I think you got Alex's name wrong and you said someone completely different. I was like, there's no one.
Who was... I called her Rebecca, didn't I?
Yeah, Rebecca. You called her Rebecca.
Creed.
You said, like, who's Rebecca? And I went, I don't know, Steve. Who is Rebecca? So, I'm sure there was a Rebecca in that world. She's probably dead, though, by now. I forget what the point I'm trying to make is, if I was even making a point.
People caring about what you make and their opinions on it.
Yeah. See, this is a problem with me. I ramble and then I go, what was the question?
I think I just need to get over it. Like,
you do. Get over it, god damn it.
It's just I just need to get over it.
Because there's ideas that you've had that you've shown me.
I'll just move on.
There's ideas that you've had that you've shown me. Like, and I'm sure.
Are we ever doing a sequel to the Halloween vlog?
I don't know.
It's come and gone again.
Let's do it. Let's just do it. We've got a week. Let's do it. We've got a week. I can balance animating that. It'll be fine. I think maybe that is also going back to quickly what Beth said about you saying quit your job.
I don't hate my job.
Exactly. If you don't hate it, then don't quit. I'm gonna tell you not to quit because you need bloody money.
That is true. Yes.
People need money.
I agree.
Take it from someone who currently works a job in a warehouse where when he gets called for a shift and he hasn't been called for a shift in 2 weeks.
Oh, you're on like a 0 hours contract.
Yep.
Ah, man.
I'm working for an agency for it.
That's the worst.
Although, to be honest, the bright side of that is that no, it's fine. That part of my life is a mess. The life part of life is a mess for me. I will not lie. I'm probably in a very, very bad spot at the moment. But we have been applying. I've worked up there. With the times I've worked up there, I don't mind doing it. I'm on my own most of the time. It allows me to think about other things. I can think about Descendants. I can think about animation projects. I can think about YouTube. And I have enough, although I don't really think after a work day up there, I don't get enough time to do what I want to do. That was the big fear I had when I took it on, is that I would end up, like you said, why do I get, do you know what, right? Going back to what you said, why'd you get up in the morning? My fear with what I'm currently doing as a job is that I'll lose that reason. Because I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go up there.
That's so early.
5 o'clock in the morning for a 6 o'clock start, and you're working till 2.
I suppose you finish early. But
yeah,
that is
you finish early, but
time.
then you start early. Whereas what I'm going for at the moment, like on their website, which is for the same warehouse, and it's actually to work for them, and it's to work 8 until 12. But they said like you can have overtime for it. There's overtime. I don't mind working till 2. If I want to work till 2, the pay's better as well.
That's always
pay significantly better.
That's nice.
And I'm much more comfortable with getting up in the morning and getting there at 8. I don't have to get up at 5. And
because you're a bit of like a night owl anyway.
I'm a night owl. It's not a good thing. I need to sort it out.
Getting up at 5.
I need to sort it out, but I don't want to sort it out. If I could get up and work at 8, and if I want to go home at 12, I can go home at 12, and I've got the rest of the day. Because I don't know if you check my channel daily or whatever.
I don't check it daily. I do try and catch most of your new uploads.
check it daily. I have to. I kind of have to. But there's weeks where you get a sub a day.
That's nice.
And it goes up and up and up. And that to me is like, that's another person that wants to see something. They've watched something, they go, I want to see more. So I've got to make more. Yeah. I can't stop.
No.
Otherwise, I let them down. I let myself down. So that's why I'm a night owl as well, is because there's people out there that do want to see something. And if I lose one, go away. Fine. That's fine. There's
win some, you lose some.
Yeah, well, then again, there was the purge. There was a YouTube purge.
Like, they killed all the dead accounts or whatever.
Yeah, they killed all the dead accounts. I think I lost 6.
That's not too bad.
Well, you look at how many
I have. 6 out of like, what are you on? Like
at the time I had I think about 180 something, and 6 to me was like, whoa, that's
a big.
That's quite a drop. But then I found out it was a purge, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, fine. Wow, 6 dead people who subscribe. Great. Well, probably weren't watching anything anyway. Currently, 222 people want to watch something.
That's nice.
Going back to what I was saying, there's something I got for my 21st birthday, which is up there. There is a cloud which has writing on it. Those are deadline dates for projects, and I only just I think I wrote them up there a couple of days ago.
Okay.
Right now, I won't say the projects. One for the 31st December. Not December, October.
Okay.
That would mean I have a long time to work on it, and I don't, and it would also not fit the theme at all. 15th November. 1st of January and then sometime in January. And I can look up at that and it just puts it a little bit more at ease, I think. It will put pressure on the closer it gets. But even looking at the 31st of October, I can go, the date's there. So I know what I've got to do that by. And it spaces things out. I need something for December. I really do. Something probably animation-wise or something Christmas-wise. I don't know. I don't know whether you can read what's on the first one. Don't read it out.
Not from here, I can't.
No, not from here.
I mean, I honestly can't really read that, but
you see two numbers, don't you? Basically, 1st of January,
31st of October,
31st of October, 15th of November, 1st of Jan. You can, and then I came up with that a couple of weeks ago, and I've animated I think 2 minutes worth of it. But that was at the beginning.
That's quite a lot. Really.
That was at the beginning of the month. And then I was like, right, there's other projects which take more priority, and once they are done, we'll go back to that and we can work on it. That is very ambitious. The one for 1st of January is going to be the biggest thing I think I've ever made. And it's taken so much of a toll on me is that I've almost completely forgotten about that. Not in a sense where I don't care about it, but in a sense where it's
on the
not,
back burner.
it's not on the back burner as well. Especially with where we are in developing the next book and that. We're at a point where we can kind of let it go a bit easy for a bit. Probably this is the last month we can let it go easy, to be fair. Which is fine.
Next month, NaNoWriMo.
Hmm?
NaNoWriMo.
What's that?
National Novel Writing Month.
Oh yeah, I did see you say about it. I saw you tweet about it.
Something. I might try and record some audio every day or write some
Descendants fan fiction. Do it. Do you know one of my friends?
I love Alec so much. He's the best character.
One of my friends has actually done that. He has written. Do you want to this doesn't spoil anything. I'm just going to tell you this, right? He made up a character. He made up 2 characters, and he created a backstory for them. And the backstory was so good. And he's known about the series for years, and he's been a big part of its development and everything to me. I've always talked to him about it, as well as a couple of other people. There are like 3 people in this little tiny circle that were there when the idea started, and therefore I feel it is completely necessary to keep them in the loop, because if it wasn't for them I wouldn't have it. He made 2 characters, he gave them a backstory, and I thought it was so good that they are going to be in the series. In
Brilliant.
Some way. Not exactly the way he told them, because otherwise that would just be blatant plagiarism and copying. Then again, he did put them in my world.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. It's fine.
It's a weird bit of copyright law there. Yeah.
But like, there's 3 characters in there. Like, again, if we get onto the story of how it started, I'll tell you the story of how it started, and it's a sad story. And I mean nerd sad, not sad as in depressed sad. It's a nerd story.
The best kind of sad.
But I've forgotten where I am. I heard you say Alex your favourite. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Really?
Love Alex. She's the best.
Oh, wow. Okay. Huh.
Edge is a bit sad sometimes.
Edge is depressive.
Like,
I'm not going to say the F word, but he is depressive. I look at Edge.
Bit of comedic relief, bit of light relief.
I look at Edge as me before I had Descendants. Because I was in a same point as you years ago. I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do. And acting obviously hasn't worked out. As any actor could probably tell you, I wanted to be in Hollywood by now. Probably not going to happen. 90% of the time actors are out of work. Common knowledge for actors anyway. When he does start, when the story does start off, it does show someone who doesn't know what they want. And I think even after... No, I don't think he knows what he wants throughout the entire thing, because he gets put in a situation where he doesn't really have to make a choice, or his view is that he doesn't have to make a choice. If anything, Edge is an example of who you shouldn't be at this point in his life. This is a really big story, and you can't have a mopey guy go happy-go-lucky straight away. No, it's too quick development.
Takes time. Yeah.
Depressed, yeah. Wouldn't you be if half the stuff that happens to him happened? You'd be really depressed.
It's a fair point.
And he does find happiness in a way. Oh, this relates back to what's happiness. Do you think... I'm going to ask you a question about it, right?
Okay.
Because you've read it. Do you think he found happiness in that moment? Without giving away anything, obviously, because I would like people to not know much about it.
The cynic in me says... no.
Right.
But it's so much better than what it was that it might as well be.
That's a good way to look at it. It's definitely... I look at it as something that he definitely wants, That's definitely the life he does want.
Mm.
But it all got thrown at him too quickly.
Yeah.
And it got thrown in the wrong place. Because I think part of us all does, well, except people who probably obviously do not want that life. We do want to settle down, and we do want to have someone who cares about us and someone that we too care for, and we would like to perhaps have children. I know I do. That is a representation of a life I would love to have, is a family in the future that is my own family. I know I have my family now and I love them to pieces, but like, you know, you want to have a family. You want to carry on that family. I was going to say legacy, but this isn't a fantasy world. This is the real life. I want to carry on the family legacy. But there's a lot of things in his life that will happen and that have happened that are kind of what I'd like.
I could sort of feel that coming through the...
Hell, half the time in that book, I'd love it if it happened to me.
In the apocalypse.
I'd love to be locked in that city. Plus, I already know what happens, so I can pinpoint the problem straight away and tell everyone. I can go, that's the answer. Do it now. Like,
that is definitely cheating.
But yeah, well. Then again, I remember your overpowered comment. I was like, yeah, well. Which I thought about that the other day, and I went, is he really overpowered? Really? When you think about it, is he overpowered, do you think?
I mean, it's been a little while since I've read it, so can't remember offhand. I mean, a little, like... Mm-hmm. But like most main protagonists, like that's a fair criticism of almost every book. Is like, and he miraculously made it through, and it's just the nature of like fantasy.
Did he miraculously make it through though?
It's just the nature of fair? Like sci-fi and fantasy is that like
that makes me sound like I'm like completely going off of any criticism I get. That's not what I'm trying to convey. I'm like, because maybe I have written it badly in a case where it makes it seem like he's come off miraculously. But in my mind, and not everyone will look at something and paint the same picture as you in a scene, but I don't think he miraculously managed to recover from any fight that he was in. There's reasons, and unfortunately you will find people who won't accept the reason, or rather they won't accept your logic of finding that reason unless you straight up give them the reason.
Yeah.
And if you did, then again, you'd be developing things way too quickly. Overpowered? To a degree, yeah, he's a little bit overpowered. I'll agree. He is. He's a badass to me. And he always was and he always will be. But, God, he was much more depressive back then as well. It's an improvement. That's what I'm saying. From the early days.
Is there anything you'd be particularly interested in me doing as part of this? Like,
I thought you were going to ask me what was it, would I be interested in you doing something for your channel, and I was instantly going to go Halloween vlog part 2. Let's do it. I shouldn't have any input on what you do.
No, I know.
This isn't my project.
I know.
What you're in is in a stage of development.
Oh yeah, I think I'm a long way off going public.
You are.
The goal is to start putting things out in 2017. That's the goal.
Well,
I'm going to try and collect audio now.
Have. You've got a deadline. There you go. You've got a deadline.
January 1st, 2017.
January 1st.
First one needs to drop.
No,
that's
you can't do January 1st. You can't do January 1st. That's when my big project comes out.
Okay, January 2nd.
Yeah. Wait. I don't know.
I wanted something maybe in 2016, but like I thought I might as well just...
A trailer.
Get us. I do have an episode 0 written.
Epic trailer with epic text on the screen. Yeah, you need to get those cinematic bois in, and then everyone will be like, oh, this is something I'll have to tune into. I have a question for you.
Oh, no.
Right. So you're doing this whole thing, this whole podcast thing and that.
Yeah.
What podcasts inspired you to sort of... Because surely...
loads.
Yeah, but surely there is specific podcasts that you did watch that made you go, right, well... Wow, that's a cool thing.
Yep.
I probably won't know them.
No. This American Life, 99% Invisible,
right?
Planet Money, Radio Lab.
I've heard of Radio Lab.
Millennial, Criminal, The Illusionist.
And that one, I've heard that one.
I
haven't listened to any of these, by the way.
Loads. All the ones that NPR do, all the good NPR podcasts. I mean, just... good radio storytelling,
right?
interests.
You should do an audio play.
I had half contemplated that.
Had you? I'll do it. I need acting work. I'll do it.
I was like, how can I make this? But like, I don't really like listening to audio plays.
Well, then if you don't like listening to it, then
I was like, I could probably make one, but like, it's a bit disingenuous to like make something, but not really like the medium.
yeah. Well, then don't do it then.
Like, I did have an idea for one. Like,
Yeah. That'd be so cool. I love that.
old
I'm not going to take it. I have too much on my plate already. I'm not going to take it.
But
and I don't think I could do an audio play as well. I love seeing things. I'd listen to it. Obviously, of course I would.
Mm.
And there are some things I listen to. Like there's only one podcast I really listen to, and that is because they are a company that has completely inspired me.
Rooster Teeth.
Which is Rooster Teeth. Yes, Rooster Teeth have heavily inspired me. Basically, the RT podcast. It's not something where it's like focused on a specific event. You just know that it's four people they're having it's four people having a laugh at the end of the day, and they've got more than one podcast now. I think they've got a podcast called Always Open. They've got game shows, but I don't have to look at it. They have it in video form. I can watch it if I can't work on something. I can watch it, but I can work on something and listen to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoy listening to them.
Do you do that through YouTube?
No, through their website.
Through their website.
I'm a first member. And look, I get to see all their shows early in that, and look, I'll support them. They're brilliant.
Mm. No, yeah, I'm just thinking about like distribution. Like, I'm gonna stick it up on iTunes, or try and get up on iTunes at least. But I think I might also upload it to YouTube because, I mean, it's no extra hardship really. So make its own YouTube channel and stick it up on there. And it'll just probably be the logo and just the sound because I'm not doing it as a video as well.
Yeah.
But
one day. We'll make a
listeners
set. Make a set. Get a video. Get us on every now and again. I'll be on every one.
Do you have any advice for people who like my sister at the moment, like doesn't know what she wants to do with the rest of her life, has to start making decisions, and also people like me who also don't know what they want to do with their life? Like, any sort of general advice for those sorts of people?
Wow, that came off as really, really bad, didn't it? For a minute. It's like, do you have any advice for people?
No.
What would I just gone complete 180 and gone, what's the meaning of life? See, it's hard for me to say that because I've wanted to be an actor since I was 10 years old. So kind of going through high school, I kind of knew what I wanted to do. Just it's a hard thing to do. Like,
I think it's important to also change course. Like, for the longest time, I wanted to be I've wanted to do lots of things in my life, to be fair. But I was to be a marine biologist because I really like the fishies. But then I was really bad at biology. That's good.
So first things first, advice for people. Like I said to you, if you don't know what you want to do, you haven't found it yet. And I understand that there is definitely a point in school where you have to choose a subject. When it comes to choosing the subjects for school, trust me, what you give up is probably what you're not going to go back. You're not going to probably look back at, like, you drop history. You're probably not going to look back in a few years' time and go, I want to be a historian. Why did I ever drop history? So don't worry about that part. To be honest with you, I think half of who I am hasn't come out of education. And I feel that people think that the majority of them as a person should be formed in education. Bull. Don't think that is at all. Going through school didn't make me want to be an actor. I had that notion before I even chose that subject. Going through education didn't make me want to be a writer. I picked it up, I was interested in it, inspirations took hold, and I wrote stuff. Animating isn't something that school made me want to do. I started doing it in school.
I was going to say, even despite of IT.
But IT, I found it through IT. But that's the thing, I found it through Flash. I didn't. That was not a unit in ICT.
We did, wasn't it?
You did Flash. I was doing Excel, and I found out about Flash. I think
can't remember why we used Flash.
From two people. I think you were making a commercial,
like a little, like a
Can
banner
I just
advert.
say that if this goes on to YouTube or anything, I wasn't even in his class, and I know what he was doing. I know what his class was doing because I remember you all talking about it.
Your memory astounds me.
My memory astounds me, but there's also certain things.
Basis.
There's smaller. Do you know what? There's probably smaller, more important things that I should remember, and I don't.
I don't remember from high school.
I remember quite a lot from high school.
It actually upsets me sometimes how bad my memory is. I don't remember anything.
It upsets me too. Not from in terms of my memory, not from a long time standpoint. I'm glad I have those memories. I think a fear I do have is losing those memories, especially when I get older. That would be very horrible. I don't want to forget the people I know, but at the same time, I do get very upset when there's something I've forgotten to do, and then it gets pointed out to me, and I'm like, oh God. And it doesn't help when you've forgotten to do it a few more times. But memories such as like what we were like in school and what we did in school, specific things we did in school, I remember all them. We choreographed a song to Red Dead.
We did.
Well, we didn't actually finish it.
No, we never.
Trigonometry.
That was the name. See?
Yes, but I have been listening to Red Dead soundtrack recently. An advice for someone who doesn't know what they want to do, you will find it. You will find it. And I'd be incredibly sad if you never did. But there's always a point where you've got to find it. And maybe unfortunately, it might come a place when you're in your 40s, and maybe by then it might be that you find it a bit too late. But
you will find it.
You will find it. You definitely will. There'll be a point. I'm pretty confident in that. Is that everyone does. There is a set place for everyone, and a set place from where they are not 100% happy, but it's what they want. And I think everyone can make it to that point, definitely. This has been advice from Ryan Spark.
Thank you.
Very good advice.
So bring it back round.
Yep. See, look, this is what you do. You just ramble about something else until you think of something.
To some closing statements. Any final bits of wisdom you wish to share with the world, Ryan, from your creative endeavours? Anything you've learned?
Don't listen to me.
That you think fellow creative people would find?
Don't listen to me.
Okay.
Because in all seriousness, don't listen to me, because I don't exactly have the experience, or a lot of it. There's experience that I've gained, and there are times where I look at things, where I write something or I animate something and I go, oh, Ryan, you're a genius. You're absolutely brilliant. That just makes me feel better. But I don't know the ins and outs of the things I do. If someone came up to me and was like, oh, how do you do this? I probably wouldn't be able to tell you exactly. I'd just be able to tell you from my own experience. Come back to me in 6 years when I've had 10 years of experience of it, and then my words will have some weight. And I don't know why I was gonna say in closing, and I was literally gonna go, what is the meaning of life to you? Let us know in the comments. That's I'm not gonna do that. I don't know how to end something. But in closing, you got to take risks.
In closing,
you got to take risks, right? People can tell you as much as they want from their experience, but you shouldn't be someone who listens to everyone. You can take that. Some people might look at that and go, well, you mean I should just do whatever I want? That's not. Why should I take advice? No, yeah, sure, take advice from people, and some people can put you on the right path.
I can't listen to every bit of advice. I have to listen to them all.
Listen to them all. Listen to them all. But at the end of the day, it's you that's got to make the choice, not the person who told you.
No.
You should hear the amount of times I say it when I'm animating. I think it's the only word I say when I'm animating. I'll tell you what though, if an animation comes out really good, I squeal like a little girl. But that's because
got a passion for it.
But I think you do end up doing that. That's how I know that I've come further from where I was, because there were times when I was writing stuff and I was like,
this will do.
It's okay. Great. It's not great. I'm at a point now where there's stuff when I come up with an idea for Descendants, or if I come up with an idea in animation, or an animation comes out really well, there's a piece of dialogue, or I finally get to a point in Descendants, I'll squeal like a girl. Not just because I've got to that goal of doing something, but because it's turned out better than what I used to do, and I know that it's progress at the end of the day. That's kind of I'm definitely not, despite what I think quite a few people think about me, I am not in the perfect place. I'm not in the best place in the world. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have everything that I want. but I'm not going to get it overnight. And the job thing is a bit to be honest. I won't lie. It's not great having to wait for them to call. And to be perfectly honest, I'm at a point now where I don't want to work for them. Not a great mentality to have,
No.
but when they've done the they've done, I don't want to work for them. But at the moment, 2016, which is when this is being recorded, in case this comes out
23rd of October
23rd of
2016.
October, things have gone well enough for me, I think. I don't get a lot of income from the book, doesn't get many sales, that's fine. It's out there. Still waiting on the next news of promotion. We're promoting it. Hopefully that is going to get some people involved in it. There's that is something that I struggle with, I think. Promotion. Don't know how to get people to know something. The only thing I really have to express it is YouTube. Because there's people there who do watch stuff. And then the downside to that is that everything I make, I don't make it in a day. I don't want to make it in a day. If I make that, like the 200 sub video, I don't know if you saw that.
I think I did, yeah.
That was made in a day.
Good effort.
I thought that was really good for
Good.
shots. Oh man, that came out better than I thought. I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. When you make something, you can't make it in a short period of time. The longer you work on something, the better it will probably be. Don't want to leave it too long though, otherwise it will never get done.
Yeah. I'm on a good path now, I think. I've got a deadline. First episode needs to be uploaded January 1st or January 2nd, maybe. I need to make these. I need to consistently make these in order to have enough steam so that when I start putting them out, I'm not going to get discouraged because, now I've run out of stuff again. I need like a back catalogue, which hopefully in the 3 months of this year, I'll be able to build up. Go speak to people, go interview people, go on the street, interview people out there, put it together, function it, craft it. Maybe do 10-minute ones of me just spouting crap at a microphone by myself and just, what have we learnt so far?
Well,
and just, I need to show up, basically.
Yeah.
I need to do it. I need to show up. And over time, I'll get better.
Find the time for it as well.
Yeah.
That is...
that's a problem as well. But
going on to... And this is a reason why I try and act the way I do, at least. I try and make sure I have this mentality. There's a man who called Monty Ohm, worked with Rooster Teeth, created the show Ruby, which is one of my favourite shows. And this is kind of sad in a way. Anyone who does know about Rooster Teeth and Monty will understand. But before I saw Ruby, before I saw the first trailer, I wasn't confident in anything I had. Wasn't confident in Descendants. And this is back in 2013. So this is 3 years ago. Was not confident in Descendants. I wasn't confident in... We were making videos then, and I wasn't confident in them. The Creed thing fell apart. That was a major downer for me. But that was because there was no way we were going to be able to pull that off.
I mean, I told you...
You told me we were ambitious, but you have to keep
ambitious.
that mindset. You have to, like, there's times where you do have to be like, no, it will work.
You have to
Shut
believe
up.
in your own thing. Yeah.
It will work. And as long as you keep that...
Because if you don't believe in it, who does?
Yeah. Me, myself, some guys.
That was fantastic. That was honestly some of your best work, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I loved it.
I've
It was
thought-
creative.
you know,
It was
I've-
original.
I've
really enjoyed it.
really been contemplating taking them down. But maybe that's because to me it feels more a bit cringy from a personal perspective. Only the first season. And then the second season, if there's one thing I'm not very good at writing, it's comedy. I definitely think I did okay with Me, Myself, Some Guys season 1. But also, Me, Myself, Some Guys season 1 didn't finish. There was 2 more episodes. And those 2 episodes turned into series 2. And that was when I was like, I clearly don't know what I'm doing. So I'm going to stop. And if I ever find a direction, which at this point I don't think I should bring it back. I don't think I should. I think I'm a bit too old for it. 5 21-year-olds all standing around. And I've let go of half of those characters as well. I love Crazy. I'll love Crazy to the end of my day. And I do actually really want to do more with Crazy. I really do. Announcer died. I don't know what happened. The assassin, Leonardo, is a very typical character. Edge has changed so much that I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to touch it in a real life perspective, and I wouldn't want to associate him with that series. He doesn't fit into it at all. I don't want to be me. And recently, I only just took notice the other day. I was like, wow, I really don't give a about wrestling anymore. let me go back to Monty Owen because I should say it because with you saying that you sometimes lose confidence in things and that you lose faith in it and etc. Had no confidence in anything I was making, and I worried too much about what other people would think as opposed to what I would think of it. I liked it, but if in my opinion I looked at it and I went, oh, if I like it, that doesn't matter, I made it, of course I'll like it. If other people don't like it, then it's obviously bad. And then I saw the trailer for Ruby, the first trailer, and then I saw in the other trailers they showed about every main character got a trailer, and I listened to everything that Monty was saying about the series, and I went, this guy doesn't care at all. And not in a sense where he goes, I don't care if it succeeds or not. Like, he doesn't care what people think of it. And he's actually really confident that someone will like it. And that he's not afraid to talk to someone about it completely. That's something I don't relate to him to. I like to keep stuff hidden. I don't like to spoil things for people. I don't like to go, watch when this person gets killed off. Ha 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 ha. Like, that's not me. I like to surprise people. But when I started to watch Ruby as well, that was when I was like, this is the mentality I should have. Love Descendants, absolutely love it. And I actually think there will be someone who does like it. There will be someone. The first it was, I think there will. This time, whenever I write, I go, there's going to be someone out there who likes it. And I do it like that, and there you go. I'm at a point now where I do an animation, I go, someone will like it. I think if you have that mentality, you'll be a lot more confident in things. Because if you, like, and even if the first person who says something to you is like, oh, this is terrible, there's someone out there who will see it and they'll like it. I've always wanted, and I was waiting for this day where I could meet Monty and I could say to him, it's because of you that I got confidence. Not only am I a big fan of all you're working at, you're an incredible martial artist and everything, but you did sort of push me towards an open door that I thought was closed. Metaphors. And then unfortunately, after the second season came out, he passed away. He's 33 years old. So in a way, and I think about it quite a lot, I'm really upset that I will never get that meeting. But they continued the show, and they have people that worked with Monty. But it wasn't just Monty who crafted it. There was two other people, a whole crew worth of people that continued to make it. Makes me feel a little better that one day I could go up to them and say it, because especially volume, like he might have had a hand. Like, it's still his story. He still had a hand in it, and they're just filling in the gaps and continuing it, etc. So it's gutting that I can't go up to the person who gave me the confidence and say, you gave me the confidence, but it's a little bit reassuring to know that I will be able to go up to, I think, Miles or Kerry or Gray. I can go up to one of them and I can go, like, you know, not only did he, but you, because you keep writing it, and it inspires me as a writer, and it inspires me as an animator. It's a show which I love the writing about. It's made in animation, and it's voice acting. It's all three of the things I do in one. People can't see. I've just made a fist to signify that it's three things coming into one. Together. Three fingers, the three swear fingers coming into one. There's a tribute video to Monty. I'm going to tell you to watch that and see if you get anything out of it, just to see his view on the world. Because Monty didn't sleep. Monty wouldn't sleep. The people at Rooster Teeth say that when Monty went to sleep, it wasn't going to sleep, it was power down mode. And that they said that Monty was always trying to find ways to do things quicker, to still obviously make things look good, but to do it at a quicker speed, and to do it so that he could avoid sleep as well, and he could get more work done. And I tried my hardest to carry that mentality. I think it is very true in saying that Monty had a great sense of time, which is what I really want to try and master.
In what way?
Because Monty died at 33. And the amount of stuff he managed to get done. He's created a show. He's apparently given that show enough that he's gone now, but apparently he's left enough for 10 seasons worth of the show. And obviously this is a web show, so it's not like full hour videos and stuff, but he's left enough to carry it on for years. And he's left it to people who could carry it on from there. I don't think I'll ever get to his level. I don't want to, because apparently he was a machine. people believed he was a machine, not a human. But I would like to master a sense of time in my life.
I don't really know what you mean by master a sense of time.
Neither do I.
Do you mean that like he understood that his time was finite and therefore
I think
cherished every second?
That is
that what you
something
mean?
that they said in a podcast. They did do a podcast in memorial to him, and Bernie Burns, who I think at the time was CEO, he's like the main founder of the company, and he said that Monty, it's almost like Monty knew that he could go at any moment. And I know that. I could walk down the street tomorrow and get hit by a car and that's it. Don't know what's going to happen. And I want to master a sense of time so that I can keep working. Part of that's already happened. Something out there.
Something that will live beyond you.
Yeah. Kind of hope that I can finish it. Want to live long enough to finish it. I really do. Even though in my head I know how it ends. I want to know I want to figure out how to get a lot of work done. And yeah, I do need sleep.
Be as productive as possible, but be as happy as possible at the
I'm
same
definitely time. I'm definitely in a good place production wise, and I think I'm in an okay place happy wise. There are like again, my parents think that whenever I'm not working at that warehouse, that I'm up here all day doing nothing, and I'm working on that. They don't see half the stuff I've made. I think the only thing they have seen is the book. They've seen that terrible Metal Gear animation. They haven't seen any of the other stuff. They haven't seen the tribute I did to Ruby. They haven't seen what other good animations. Pokemon No Go. Didn't see the very weird test I did when I tried to make an intro. I don't know why I made that Descendants video. It was a video which is like an anime intro. That's like 6 years away.
You're always thinking big though, aren't you?
I don't. Yeah, I'm thinking too big for my own good. But every time I think of something big, I get closer to achieving that size. So, started with Creed. We couldn't do Creed. Creed was way too big. So you tone down the bigness. Me, myself, some guys, it's big enough, but it's small enough. Okay, now let's extend it a little bit. Let's big it up a little bit and see if we can get up there. Just got to keep doing stuff, really. And if this doesn't work out for you, I don't know what you want to do next.
I think that's a good note. Just keep doing things until you'll get better each time. You'll find what you want to do. Just in the words of Nike.
Oh,
just
God
do it.
damn it. I will bring up another point of one of my friends. Big fan of the fighting game series Tekken. He's been playing, I don't know how long he's been playing it. Played Tekken Tag 2. I have it as well. I'm terrible at Tekken. I hate Tekken, actually. I'll say it now. Sorry to him for the amount of times that we have been in Discord and I have openly trashed Tekken, because I won't go into it here, but I shouldn't. It's bad enough that I go into it with him every time he brings up Tekken. Hey guys, this happened in Tekken. I don't care. Tekken's horrible. No, but I'm really proud of what he's done, because I don't know if he knows what he wants to do. Or whether if he does, then yay, good job, Kane. There was a point where we used to play on PS3 together, and I think a couple of times the subject came up that he was really good at Tekken, and we said to him, why don't you go for tournaments? And I think he contemplated it, and he was like, I don't know. He goes to tournaments now, and he's probably, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, this ain't me sugarcoating him. I think he's one of the best Tekken players in this country. This is a guy who started he started doing Tekken, I think, professionally about 2 years ago now. Maybe a year and a half. I think maybe a year and a half. So in a year and a half, the last major tournament I saw him go to was Lions Den 3, which is apparently one of the big UK tournaments. They had the champion, the UK champion, I think a very experienced European player who's very good, and a Korean. The Korean won the tournament. He came fourth. He came fourth, and the best part for me is the person he lost to was the UK champ. I think it was the UK champ. No, it wasn't. He fought the Korean, and the Korean beat him. I forgot. I'm so sorry to him if he hears this. The Korean beat him. He lost to the UK champ, and he lost to the Korean. He lost to the world champion to get out of the winners, and then he was in the losers bracket, and he lost to the Korean. Came fourth place. Year and a half. Keep going for something. You do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Technically, yeah.
Just do
I know
it.
I've just randomly brought him up into it, but I think it's an example.
I think that's a good.
I think it is an
story.
example. Oh, and but they recently said, we're holding. I think it's UK qualifiers for something, and I think the winners of that get to go to Japan and play the new Tekken. He's in the qualifiers. He can go to Japan and play. I may not like the series at all. I think the storytelling in it is horrible, and I think the fact that they've taken Akuma from Street Fighter is a very weird thing. But the fact that he's going to qualifiers and could go to Japan, we make a joke about this a lot. There's two other very big Tekken UK players. One's called Rukang. He's an idiot. One called King J. I also think he's an idiot. When it comes to fighting games, they said they're in the qualifiers. I hope he trashes them both. I really do. So you're not limited. So even with you and this whole, if you just do stuff, if you have an idea and you just get on with it, if it don't work, it don't work. Yeah. Fine. Don't lie down, bitch about it. Get up and do something else.
I will.
Although in the case of Descendants, I don't care what people say. I am going to do it until it's finished. I don't care what people say. I will finish.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this out there.
Tonight! No, don't do it tonight.
It's going to exist at some point, and we'll see where it goes.
I think
we'll see where it goes.
If you stick with it, there might be a point where you go, I've stuck with it, and it still doesn't work out. But you can't look at it then and go, oh man, what a stupid idea.
Right, some more goals. First episode, January 2nd.
Okay. I was going to write it up there. No, I was going to write it up there, and I was going to go, wait, that's not mine.
Try and be consistent until my birthday.
Okay.
When I turn 22.
Okay.
And we'll reassess it then and see, you know.
Let's make this into, right? So after your birthday, no matter what, stick with it, right?
I'm going to try. I'm really going to try.
Stick with it.
I'm really going to try.
And then after your birthday, come back here. We'll do this exact same thing. And we will go over what it's been like for both of us
in
as
8
well.
months or whatever.
Because I'll have gone through other stuff as well. There's no way in 8 months am I going to be sitting on that animation the way it is now.
We both would have progressed, yeah.
I'm not going to I just can't move her freaking spine right. I'm not going to have that mentality. God, now I'm kind of hoping I don't move away or something within the next year.
I'll probably speak to you before August, but we'll come back. We'll come back in August.
If you don't speak to me before August, I'm going to think you're a dick.
As in on...
Oh, yeah.
I'll probably interview or speak to you...
Once a month.
Record you again before August.
Why don't I look over there?
But we'll come back in August.
I'm going to look over to my camera and pretend
and we'll talk about this.
Once a month.
We'll talk about this.
We'll
see how we've progressed. Well, thank you very much, Ryan.
You're very welcome.
Anyway, I think I've taken up more than enough of your time. You've been a cool guest. You've been a good partner, interviewee, whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
I'm brilliant. And
but thank you.
You'll never meet a more creative person.
I don't know if I will.
I don't know if...
In all the times
I'm not going to go as far as to say I don't know if you will. There's people out there 10 times more creative than me.
You are a constant inspiration to me, put it that way.
Yay.
So
it's nice to know that I'm an inspiration to some people in some way. Let's talk about that for a minute. No, let's not. No, I think that's a good place to end it.
Thank you, Ryan.
That's very, very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
You've been listening to Polaris, a show about finding your way in the world. All of our episodes can be found on iTunes or on YouTube, or you can stream them at our website, polarispodcast.com, whatever works best for you, really. You can find Ryan on Twitter at RealRyanSpark, and he's on YouTube at TheRyanSpark. I'd like to thank Ryan again for being my first interviewee, the first person I'd shove this mic in front of, for any extended period of time. So thank you, Ryan. I do hope to catch up with him again. You'll notice I make reference to, the 1st of January, an episode going live for the first time, which I completely missed, with the first episode actually going live sometime in April or whatever. But after my birthday, which is soon, I do hope to catch up with him, and we'll see how we've both progressed since our first chat back in October. And hopefully I can make speaking to him a more regular occurrence. But thank you for listening to the episode, especially if you've made it this far in. I really appreciate it. If you could, tell your friends about the podcast if you enjoy it, give us a like or a rating on iTunes. That really helps other people find out about us. If you have any feedback, you can tweet the show at PolarisPod on Twitter, or send us an email at polarispodcast@gmail.com. If you want to be on the show, for example, just let us know, drop us a line. I'm sure we'll be able to set something up. Thank you again. And until the next time, memento mori.